Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for watching today's interview. My name is Tatiana Sazanova. I'm the head of the international branch of the financial affiliate network Leadgid. Today, we are going to talk about the specifics of SEO for lead generation, its pros and cons. SEO traffic is one of the oldest and most reliable sources of traffic. However, it's been regulated quite heavily in recent years, so to help us to understand in more details, we're happy to welcome Johannes Larsson, the CEO of at Financescom. Johannes, hi.
Hello, thank you for having me. Looking forward to do this.
Johannes, glad to have you today. How are you and how is your summer going?
It's pretty good. Here in Cyprus, things are getting back to normal now with the pandemic, so really happy about that. And how about you? Everything good?
Well, everything's good. I can say that in Moscow we don't have any problems with pandemic situation, and I can say it's very hot summer in Moscow this year, but
We always switch from
generally everything is
over.
good. So, before we begin, I'd like to mention that the author of the best question today will receive a reward. To be precise, the winner will receive additional 50 euros to his payout at affiliate network Leadgid. All the questions could be asked on our Facebook page or in the comment section. The link is in description. And we are beginning. To commence our fruitful conversation, let's start with the origins of Financescom. Johannes, what was the turning point for you and how have you reached such widespread success?
I started affiliate marketing like 12, 13 years ago. And back then I was around 15, 16 years old and I opened up some website and I started to make some money. So I decided to continue on that track and we opened up website after website. Didn't really put a lot of thought into it, but we ended up having about 400 plus websites that we were managing. I was around 18, 19 years old. I moved to Malta and I wanted to scale it up. So I said, let's just open up as many websites as possible. Because back then it used to work pretty okay to do that. Um, but with time, it got slower and slower. Google changed their rules, and there was a point where I said, I don't want to do this anymore. It's very difficult to give so much love to 400 websites, build backlinks, create content, and all of this.
I can
I was
imagine
like,
this.
sorry,
I can imagine this. That's a huge
big headache.
website.
And it's not fun to work like this. You need a purpose. You need the focus. So what I decided was we're gonna like put all our energy into one project and build like more of a brand. And this is basically where I founded Financer. It was around 2015, 2016, and ever since then it's been going really well for us. The first year was a bit slow, of course. Everything takes time, but the year after that, we more or less 10xed our revenue and traffic. Year after that, we 10xed as well. So yeah, I think everything started to change when we started to focus. Like that's the main takeaway. And many people say things like you shouldn't put all your eggs in the same basket, right? And there's
Yeah.
some truth to that, of course, but you definitely don't want to put your eggs in 400 different baskets because you can't carry them. So I think it's better to have one basket or two maybe, and you carry that basket really carefully. You watch what you do with it, and if you're doing the right thing, then it will pay off to focus down. And this is basically where everything changed for us, I think.
Well, I see what I mean, and I think that's really interesting point about quantity of baskets. Of course, I can't imagine how to have 400 baskets at the same time.
Don't try.
Okay, I won't.
Recommend it to anyone.
Okay, nowadays you're operating exclusively in a financial niche. Have you ever considered something different for a change? What were the obstacles?
Yeah, we did try gambling for a while, the gambling industry. We set up a website there, opened up in some markets, I think 4 or 5 markets, put some people on it. But we realized pretty fast that we're not going to make it. We're not going to be able to compete in two of the most competitive industries in affiliate. And yeah, we just shut down the project. I think it was like after 1 year. It wasn't that it wasn't successful, but it was just like people didn't like it. People wanted the focus. So we continued on that path and just focus on financer.
That's good. Well, it's not your first year in the industry, and historically, SEO has been one of the most efficient types of traffic. Let's talk about SEO then, because it's impossible to ignore this huge topic. In general, how strong is SEO acquisition today in comparison for example, 5 years earlier?
Well, SEO was everything for us. When we started 5 years ago, I think we started like 6 years ago, and 5 years ago, I think we had like 1,000 in organic traffic every month. And today, I think in July, we have about 1.1 or 1.2 million unique visitors from Google. So yeah, things have been going pretty good. As I said before, we have been 10xing the traffic in many years in a row. Now the last 2 years has been a little bit slower, mostly because of Google and their updates. As I'm sure everyone is aware of, there's the
Yeah.
very scary updates that comes twice a year, that can mess with your rankings really good. And this is what happened to us. So the last update in December 2020, we had pretty bad. We got hit pretty bad. Like we lost 60-70% of our traffic, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, but we recovered from that, especially now in June and July. Google launched 2 new core updates, and that seemed to have put us back on the right track. I think we increased probably at least 40-50% in our traffic the last month. So we're looking at some good numbers again.
Um, okay, what else changed happens since you started? Has it become harder now to
In
learn?
SEO, you mean?
Yes, in SEO, I mean.
Yeah, it's been become very different. It's a completely different game today compared to what it was when I started. When I started, you could just put up a lot of websites and put some content, build some backlinks, and you could potentially rank pretty good. Today, I would say SEO is it's not really about that. It's more about creating some real value for your visitors, building a good website. I know many people don't like to hear it, but there's really no like ways to hack the system anymore. There's no dirty SEO secrets that you need to know about. There are some practical things that could really help you. Like you want to have a mobile website that's adapted for mobile. Google switched to mobile first indexing. I think it was 2018. So they really care about the mobile version more. Care about speed, has to load fast. It's probably best if it loads less than 1 second. You need to have a SEO optimized website with the on-page things, but this is really not something people have to worry about too much now because you have it as a standard in most WordPress themes, and yeah, it's not very important that you have to do it yourself anymore. If you're into finance niche or health niche, or what they call the your money or your life category, you want to care more about the EAT, which I believe personally is going to be more and more important every year. And the EAT stands for expertise, authority, and trust. And it's good for every website to care about it, but for financial industry especially, it's important that you state your sources, you build up some authority, and you look trustworthy. Like this can make a very big impact in the finance industry. in my opinion. So that's some practical things, but I think the best thing I could tell to whoever wants to do SEO is just like uh, focus on building a good product, because if you build a good product, you will have um, good user metrics. The users coming into your website will have a low bounce rate, high time on site, and Google will pick up on those. And you will have more user retention, so many people will return to your website, which is another factor. And if you have a good website, you're more likely to get natural links, and those are all the most important factors of SEO anyways. So if you just focus on building a really good product, I think half of the SEO is going to take care of itself, basically.
Okay, I see. If you were about to start Financescom today, what would you consider in the first place?
Hmm. I think we did many things right. I think we did many things right. There's, as I said, with content, it's pretty important to create a good website, but that also means good content. And I think maybe that's something we didn't care about so much in the beginning. We were focusing more on the quantity, producing a lot of articles and producing a lot of pages, and it worked pretty okay when we started. But if you can produce like the next level content, that's what they call 10x content, you have very high odds to rank number one in Google. And right now we're doing a big project. We're redoing all the content we have, which is a huge project. Like everyone literally has to rewrite hundreds of articles, which are now subject to very strict guidelines. But I wish we could have focused on that from the beginning. Another thing is that I think we open up in too many markets too fast. I don't necessarily see it as a mistake, because we got a lot of insight from that, and we got a lot of collaborations, and many of the markets we opened up in are very successful today. And so I wouldn't take it back, but I would probably be a little bit slower. So I would open up maybe 5 to 10 markets first, and wait until those markets took off, like ranking in the top three, top five in Google, before we uh, continue to pursue other markets. One more thing maybe is that we would have a stricter hiring process as well. We hired some, we hired a lot of great people in the beginning, but we also hired people who there were warning signs right away, and we didn't really care so much. We're like, let's try it out. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and it's a good method to find who's good for your team. But I think putting some uh, more restrictions in place when you hire people, like to be really picky, with the people you hire. I think it's a good thing. I think it would save us a lot of time in the long run.
Okay, I see that you are concentrated in content and the quality of your websites, but have you ever paid your way through to the top of the search engine pages?
Like you see an AdWords.
Paid for uh, to be on top?
You mean like PPC and AdWords?
Yes, I mean something like this.
Yeah, we did a few experiment with AdWords. We have always been very focused on SEO. That has been the main thing for us. I'm kind of a SEO geek, so I've always liked to been involved with that and focus on that. But we did try a few experiments with AdWords, and to be honest, we didn't have much luck. Maybe that's because we weren't competent enough. Maybe it was because the market, the competition in the markets we tried, it was really hard. In Sweden, for example, you have crazy CPC. You gotta pay so much per click. It's like 20 euros per click in some keywords. And as an affiliate, it's kind of hard to get back those margins, I think. Although I know people who are making good money with AdWords. But yeah, we did some experiments, nothing really paid off. We're still experimenting with it. It would be nice to diversify our traffic. So we're still gonna try to get somewhere with that. But the best results we got so far was basically break even.
Well, okay, great. So, as we can see, it's a major topic, and I think we've covered it pretty well. Johannes, according to your website, currently you're active in 25 regions. Am I right?
26.
26. Wow. I believe you must have faced some difficulties operating in different countries. Let's talk about them. And what are the main criteria for choosing the right region to start SEO?
I think it's hard to choose the right region. I mean, you have to experiment a little bit. And I think all regions, in a sense, can be right. It's all about cycles and seasons. And some markets might bloom later on, but if you went into them early on, it could be a good thing. But there are some specific things we would look at, of course, like the level of competition. If the competition is insane, then yeah, we'll take that as a negative sign. We'll look at the search volumes. If there's a lot of search volume, also the CPC, the value of the keywords, that could give a good indication of how much money is going around in the industry in that market. Regulations quite important because these days many countries are putting up like restrictions with who can market credit offers. So, for example, in Latvia, they just decided that everyone who has anything about credits, you need a license to operate there. In the UK, you need a license. So there are some markets I would just avoid for the sake of legal headaches. Uh, but again, I wouldn't hold it 100% against because that also means there's less competition, right? So regulations could even be a good thing. It's just that we're not really so interested in dealing with that headache right now. So regulations is one thing. The range of different affiliate options, like how many affiliate programs there are, it's obviously one of the most important things. Um, Many of the markets we went up in though didn't have any affiliate options, and we decided to pursue it anyways, just for the sake of like carving the path and becoming the first publisher in that market. And that really paid off in some markets, like Brazil. We were probably one of the first affiliate websites there, and there was no lenders, there was no affiliate options. We had to contact lenders and make deals with them. So it's not necessarily a bad idea to go up in a market with no affiliate options. It's just that you will have to have a different approach to that. And you have to look at how digitalized the countries, because if some markets, for example, the people working in the banks and the lenders, they don't even know what affiliate is. So what are you going to discuss? Oh, let's have an affiliate program. What is affiliate? Like that's literally the response we got many times, and that could make it a little bit more of a headache. So yeah, that's probably what I would look at. But as I said, it's all markets, you can make it work. You just need the right approach to it.
Okay, I think you should have a good temper when you go to the market that doesn't have an affiliate programs. How long have you waited for affiliate programs in Brazil?
I think it took about, we were pretty lucky. I think there was a first lender that popped up after like 3 months or something.
Uh,
So then we managed to make some money. But having a comparison with only one lender, it's not so good. So uh, I wouldn't call it successful. But then eventually we had, I think, 5 to 10 lenders after a couple of years. So, and the competition was obviously really low there. I think we had at one point we had about 350K organic traffic just in Brazil because we're ranking number one on everything.
okay, I see. Okay, after the region evaluation, you are faced with the problems of choosing the right offers to publish on your website, right? And how do you evaluate them? What criteria are more important and what could be ignored, maybe?
We tried to add actually all the different options in our comparison. So we don't look at this too much, but we care about I mean, we look at their reputation, and if some company looks very unprofessional, then we're not going to include them, of course. But overall, we want to include as many options as possible to give the visitors like a broad overview of all the options in the market. And so we don't really look at that too much. It's just let's get as many as possible. And then we can even add some lenders. In some markets, we add lenders that doesn't have an affiliate program, just for the sake of giving like all the different options in the market. And of course, it's not good for the revenue because we might lose some traffic. But my hopes is that users will appreciate this, and we will provide more value, and they will remember that, and they will come back to us when they want to borrow money again. But yeah, it's a very hard balance with that. So
Okay, I see. In various regions, we have to deal with different customer behaviors. Do you have some shocking revelations in recent memory about some drastic differences you couldn't predict?
yeah, I would say that the weirdest thing is when the pandemic hit, we lost like 50% of our affiliate relationships. That really weirded me out because I don't understand why lenders and banks would pull out from affiliate marketing when that's the only source of like guaranteed customers. I understand that companies doesn't want like to put a lot of money into social media marketing and campaigns and TV and stuff because that's not really, it's more like long-term branding. But when it comes to affiliate, they're paying us when we give them a customer. Yet they decided to remove their programs. So that was really shocking for us. We lost a lot of revenue just because of that. And to this day, I still don't really understand their way of thinking. Maybe you have some idea about it?
Well, I see your point, but as I know, as I understand, advertisers had to stop their campaigns because of increased risks of loan defaults, since many people lost their jobs and didn't have an opportunity to pay back their money to MFIs and banks. So
Yeah.
the risks of defaults was very high in credit organizations. And because there was an outflow of investment from MFIs, because as we know, many of them give these loans from investing money. Uh,
It makes sense.
and in some countries, all financial organizations had to give some holidays for loans to people, and
Right.
uh, because of government regulations, they
Yeah, it was a really hard time for the lenders.
yes,
So
that was a really
I
hard
would
time for
really,
them, and they preferred not to give any money, as I understand, and that's why they stopped some campaigns.
yeah, no, but that makes sense. I understand that you would receive like lower conversion and they would accept less customers and all this, but I don't understand what it has to do with the affiliate program. But affiliate program is like you get a customer, you only pay when you get the customer. If you don't get the customer, if let's say they would want to get paid per sale, that would be no problem for me. They can just say, when we have a guaranteed customer, I'll pay you. We won't pay you per lead. But it makes no sense to shut down the affiliate program. That's
Well,
really
yes, but
disappointing.
they receive traffic, they receive users from affiliate programs. They paid, for example, for issued loan, but they don't have this money back from the users.
Hmm.
Haven't
They
received
should
it.
put some more restrictions on who they borrow to, maybe. But
But
yeah,
the
it makes
problem
sense. Like they don't make this super detailed decisions maybe about a specific marketing channel. I mean, they were just thinking, let's shut down most of the marketing channels now because we don't want more customers, and then affiliate marketing just happened to be a part of that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What can we do? I think it's coming back now, so we're gonna be looking at a good industry the coming 6 months. I
Yeah,
see
but
many of them are returning.
yeah, but sometimes still some offers stop because of pandemic situation, but because of lockdowns and so on. For example, we had such situation in June with Sri Lanka offers. But now,
It got really bad there in Sri Lanka, right? That's why.
yeah, but now they relaunch it, and I hope we won't have such situation in future. And I hope everyone have learned how to deal with that, how to deal with this situation with pandemic and lockdowns and with other.
Yeah.
Everyone who couldn't learn how to work with it, I think
We
they.
have to learn to live with it and be able to operate normally despite pandemics.
Mhm. Okay, talking about products. We could predict that lending money is the primary focus on financial lead generation, but however, what are the offers which steadily take second and third places? Which niches?
Investments have been really good for us since the pandemic hit. We started to focus more on investments like stock trading, cryptocurrencies, and this kind of saved us a little bit because when the lenders took away their affiliate program, we lost some revenue, and we managed to replace that with many of the stockbrokers and investment platforms. So investments is a really good niche for us. Now, unfortunately, the last month or so, it's been a bit slower. So I think most of the revenue actually came from like cryptocurrencies, the bull run, and now it's going down. It's a little bit more volatile, so people are not as interested to invest anymore. Might might change in a couple of years again. I think the investment niche will really be something that cycles a lot and comes and goes. We have been focusing a little bit on insurances, saving accounts. We never really had much revenue from that though. Loans have always been the number one thing. Credit cards work okay in some markets, like in the States. I know that credit cards is even bigger than loans, but we haven't really targeted that too much.
Mhm.
So I think we're gonna stick with loans, and when we have built like the best product to be able to meet the needs of the visitors and improve our product. And I think we'll move on to the next product comparison and try to make that really good. And then we will focus more on that. But I don't want to move on to new verticals before we have establish ourselves in the loan business.
Okay. Um, that's very useful information about investment category. Is it depend on country or it's for all girls investment became
Most of them, yes. We managed to make good money, I think, in more than 15, 20 markets. Some markets, especially Scandinavian markets, were doing really well with that. There was a specific offer, eToro, which gave us very good commissions. So if it weren't for that, we would probably lack a lot of revenue. So thank you to the eToro guys.
okay. uh, Maybe we should focus on this market. As I know, you work with affiliate networks mainly, and I was wondering how do you choose them? Imagine that you have two affiliate networks with the same exact offer. What would influence on your decision towards what offer to take from which affiliate network?
Um, we would mostly look at like established relationships that we have already with affiliate networks. If you had two offers and they were the same, we would then go with the one we trust. That would be like the main one. But I think the most important thing for us is not like the commission levels. So even if you would offer a little bit less commissions, we could still go with you. Of course, we will reach out to you and be like, hey, look, we're getting more commission from this other network. Maybe you can match it. And maybe we'll have a little bit of a bid between you guys. But in the end, we're going to stick with the ones we have established relationship with. We have a good track record. We got paid in time, and all of this. And we want to try to not dilute our revenue too much, like having, we probably already have like 200 different affiliate networks, but I want to move away a little bit from that and try to collect it. It's much easier on an administrative level, and you can create more close relationships with the affiliate networks. So yeah, the trust thing is like everything to us. We might make like more close collaborations with some affiliate networks in different markets. We make some deals, and that could also be a main thing we look at, like just stick with one network exclusively if they're able to offer us much better commissions overall or give us bonuses or something like that.
Okay, I see. On Financescom website, you have the rating of the advertisers. Do you monitor the rating, or it's 100% user-based approach?
It's 100% user-based. We try to not interfere too much with that. We don't want most of the affiliate websites, they only want to show the good reviews. And that makes a lot of sense because you have way less conversion when you show the negative reviews. But we decided to do it like that. Um, we decided to not remove the negative reviews because we want the visitor to trust us, even if that means they will not jump on the offer. Maybe they will remember us in the future. So whenever they want to see like reviews about a financial institution, they will come to Financer because they know we give them the good and the bad. But of course, sometimes we will remove reviews because it's like too fake. It looks a little bit like this guy didn't even sign up for this loan service, or we will look at offensive language. We don't want that. Anything that has low quality, the country managers, they have they can remove it if they want to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point.
We lose a lot of money. Like I said, we did experiments with this. We did split testing, and the conversion goes down a lot with having a low rating. So I'm not saying it's a good thing to do, but I believe that in the long term, it will pay off. And yeah, we'll try to find a way to also get people to write more positive reviews in the long term, because the problem with reviews is this: you only get people who are like furious, who got a really bad experience and they want to write it off, get out their energy. And the people who actually like the loan service, they don't really care. They like, okay, this is what I wanted. So it's not something special for them. Now we want to find ways to make them come back and write good reviews. So that's what we're working on now, and hopefully that will remove the component of having a little bit bad conversion rate and still be transparent and show them the good and the bad.
Yes, yeah, I can imagine how hard it is, because you're right. Because, for example, I made reviews only maybe 5 times for my life, and that was very bad reviews when I was very angry. And when I'm happy with service, uh, usually I don't write some reviews.
That's how it is. The only exception I found is that if you go to a restaurant and you had like amazing food and you got all emotional about it, you're like, I gotta write a review about this place. But when it's like an internet provider or a lender, you don't really care about it, right? So very different.
Yeah. Um, and I can imagine that you have offer that with very good profit, and reviews for them is very bad because of some people.
Well,
And
actually,
as I understood, country managers can correct these ratings, right?
the good thing is that the good lenders actually don't get that much bad reviews.
Oh,
So
that's
the offers that pays the most, just accidentally, most of the times they happen to also be lenders that cares about the customer. And we don't tend to get so many negative reviews on the high EPC offers. So it's working out pretty fine for us, actually.
that's great in this case. And
Yeah.
how else can you motivate the customers to choose the exact offer yourself is the most interested in?
This is a bit of a tricky question, very convoluted answer, because every market works a bit differently, and we don't have extremely clear guidelines on how to deal with this. Because on one point, we want to, of course, promote the offers that pays us the most money. But most of the markets, they are sorting the lenders based on the total cost. So the total cost, the lowest one will come at the top, and we don't want to interfere with that too much. And the nice thing is that most of the lenders that have low total cost, usually they're also the highest paying ones, fortunately for us. But we will try to strike a balance with this. So, for example, um, if a market has a lot of low performing offers in the top, then we'll change the sorting system to base it on reviews. So the lender with the highest review will come first, and usually that will then save us a little bit from the issue of promoting too many low performing lenders. We also have something called featured company, that we make some deals with certain lenders that we want to promote a little bit extra. So that basically means they get a badge, and that will increase their exposure a little bit. It will look like a recommended lender. So that's all we do. I mean, it's really hard to strike a balance with this, because if you look at most affiliate websites, they are like sorted based on the EPC. So the higher EPC, the higher position.
Yeah.
And I understand why they do that, and it's very tempting to do it. But I think in the long run, and I think for the sake of user behavior, like 5 years ago, people didn't really know that much about affiliate. But today they come to a website, they're like, yeah, these guys are getting paid. So if you want to counteract that and not make people go behind your back, they come to your website, compare offers, and then they just type the lender's name in Google instead of clicking your link. Then a good way to do that is just to give them some actual value. So you don't want to just have the whole results based on your own biases. That's my opinion, but gotta have a balance. Some markets we can't go with that 100%. That will result in a disaster with the revenue.
Okay, so thank you very much for your answer. You very oriented for your users,
We
and
try.
great. I like it. Okay, Johannes, 26 regions. Is it enough, or the sky is the limit? Do you have any plans to expanding?
Not much plans right now. I feel that we need to conquer the markets we have. So we're up in 26 markets, and we're doing pretty good in all the markets. It's not like some markets are lagging behind too much, but we want to get to the top before we expand. And then yes, we want to expand to the whole world eventually. Uh, Not literally the whole world. Maybe we'll avoid some countries like, I don't know, Antarctica. But for the most part, we wanna expand as much as we can. But first, we want to improve our website to really make sure it provides good value. I think our website is okay. I wouldn't want to brag about what we have, like it's something special. No, it's not. So we want to keep working on it, make it even better for the user, and make sure we dominate SEO, the SERP in all those countries we're already working in. And then from that, point, then we'll probably launch in a lot of new countries. One exception to this is that we're thinking about launching in the UK, because I believe this market is very interesting. It's huge. They require a license. So you got to set up like a company there and get a FCA license and all this stuff. So it's a bit of a headache, but I think we're gonna just open it up in the UK for the sake of experimenting with it. But the rest of the expansion will have to wait a little bit.
Well, that's great. I agree with you, and the quality is more important thing than just quantity of traffic. And I wish you good luck with it because you work in so many gears now. Okay, so because of you work in so many gears, another thing people are usually curious about is how the system works. What is going on behind the curtains, and how do you maintain offers on your website? How you get updated data on offers?
Yeah, that's a tricky part of the business. Um, we do it manually, first of all, for the simple reason that banks and lenders don't really have any APIs. I mean, they're living in archaic times. It's like 20 years behind compared to other industries in affiliate marketing. So basically, we're doing everything manually. Luckily, we have the affiliate networks. They're helpful. They send out like updates whenever something changes. We get information from a lender sometimes as well. So if we get that information, we'll change it right away. Now, sometimes that's not possible. So we do like, we go through the content, I go through the data once in a while to make sure it works, it's correct. We do some sample tests here and there more frequently, and if we see there's something that doesn't match, then we will look at the whole company. But the truth is, this is really the worst part of the business, because there's no way to automate this unless you could do it, but it's very complicated, and it's gonna have to if you want to build like a scraper tool, you're gonna have to modify it to every market and every lender, and it's not gonna really save you that much time. In Sweden, they have some APIs now, but it's not good enough. They don't take in the data from all the banks and lenders. So what I hope is that in the future, preferably soon, we will have like a global database uh, where we can get all the data instantly, live data that we can just update in our system. Because this is good for everyone. It's good for the banks, because they don't have to bother with trying to correct information. Everything is just automatic, and it's accurate and all that. It's good for us because we show the accurate information. We provide more value, and it's good for the visitors because they see the accurate data on the website. So it's like a win-win-win. And I don't understand why no one built a tool for this. So if someone wants to take on this challenge, I'll gladly pay a monthly fee just to get like good data, like accurate data from all the different lenders and banks. Of course, that's super huge project to get everyone to participate in that, but maybe one day.
Oh, maybe. Do you get this information from affiliate networks in time?
We get some of the data from affiliate networks. Yeah, they send us reminders when a lender is changing their interest rates or terms. Most of the times, some networks don't do this, but the good ones do.
Hmm. But still, it's not automatically, not with API. It's on manager to manager.
No, you still gotta go to the lender's website many times to check exactly what has changed, and that itself is like a full day project, because you don't always get the terms and conditions and all the hidden costs. You have to go into the policies and have to read documents to understand what is what are they really charging here. And of course, it's just as hard for the visitors, for the customers to do it. So it's a good thing we're spending the time, but it's really a bit annoying that they don't put it like clear. That would be very helpful for everyone, I think.
Well, maybe we should work with it in our affiliate network.
I think that would be a revolutionizing thing to do.
Yeah,
Lots of work. I don't know the solution for it because getting to work with a bank on this is impossible. They don't know what you're talking about. They're like, no, no, we're doing the things the old way. It has always worked and we don't need to change anything. This is some of the bank's approach at least. And because not all are willing to do it, then it becomes like moment 22, you know. No one want to do it because there's not enough banks who would cooperate, so no one does it, and therefore it's hard to establish new standards in the industry.
yeah, and some affiliate managers from banks and MFIs don't send this information even to affiliate networks because maybe they don't think it's important for publishers. Some of them send it and please ask your publishers to change this information on websites, but some of them not, and they maybe don't understand this value. I agree with you. So maybe we should work on this side.
People will love you, me included.
Okay. Okay, Hans, how do you operate on many gears from an organizational point of view? Is it hard to manage? Maybe you have any hacks that you can share with us.
It is pretty hard to manage when you have 26 markets and we're about, I think, 48 or 49 people now. It requires a lot of processes, defined processes. You need to build good systems, and nah, it's quite complicated to uh, make it work as you would like it. Now, unfortunately, when I started Financer, I had this in mind. So when I built the system and I planned everything, I had in mind that we're going to expand to many markets, and we cannot deal with things on a case by case way. So we have to have some systems in place. So I started to build for that pretty early on. Um, but yeah, we had to do a lot of work. In Financer, we have made it a possibility to adapt and customize everything in the markets. So a market can really change a lot of different things to just accommodate the local, how it works in that market locally. We also built like an internal system which is handling everything for us, like invoicing, administrative stuff, backlinks, and content organization. Everything that we do on a repeating basis, we have basically put a system for. And I think if it weren't for that, we would not be able to operate. So I think that's the downside of like scaling up too much, because hiring one person is very easy. You can just deal with them face to face. But when you have 50 people, you need very elegant systems. And I'm not saying we're doing everything right. We have a lot of stuff we have to work on. But I think because of the approach we had in the beginning, it actually makes it possible um, to be able to run the whole thing without too much headaches. And automation in general, like wherever you can automate something, do it. Revolut has a API now, so you can. We built a payment system. All the invoices are created in our system, and then if we want to pay, we just click pay by with Revolut, and boom, it goes away. So we can also do this automatically on a monthly basis. And yeah, I don't know how much time we're saving with ways we automate our business, but I can tell you it's wouldn't be possible without it. That's for sure.
Yes. You told about country managers. Are country managers responsible for one or multiple markets? Where are they located?
So country managers, everything is remote based in our company. Um, we do have an office in Cyprus, but it's like a playground. People just come here for having fun. But everyone is located in different countries. So a lot of the people we hire, they're more inclined to travel around. Many people like to go to Bali in Thailand and Mexico and these places. So everyone is located in different countries. Some people have moved to another country. Other people are living in their home country. So yeah, everyone is just working from wherever. What we do, like the bad thing with this, is actually that you don't get to build a company culture so much. So what we did, we started to do this about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We have this work retreats that we invite everyone in the team to go to. So the first one we went to Bali, rented a villa there, stayed for a month, everyone just in the same house, working and chilling and going on adventures together and just getting to know each other. And it was such a cool like dynamic there because everyone was working quietly, and then someone would ask like, "Oh, I have this problem. Like, do you know any solutions to this? Like, how do you deal with this in your market?" And you would hear people, person after person, would chime in and give their advice like, what about this, I tried this. And it would be such a cool environment because everyone would be super motivated afterwards, and everyone would be like have gained knowledge from those work retreats. And yeah, I think it's probably one of the best things we did for the company culture. We had a work retreat here in Cyprus. There's a video on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search on finance and work retreat. And here we got like 25 people on the team. So half the team actually managed to make it here. And we spent 3 weeks. And it was just fantastic. Like, yeah, think it changes the whole point of working with Financer when you know the people you're working with. So if you're just stuck in a dark room all day, or if you don't meet the people you're working with, it's kind of hard to build like a relationship with them, right? Even though you have video chats and all this, but I think it does so much to uh, meet with the people and get to know them as friends as well.
Yeah, I agree with you because me too. I have half of team in Moscow and half of team in St. Petersburg.
Do you ever get together?
Yes, we met together on February, and we are going to do it maybe this summer on in autumn.
Nice. In Russia, or are you going somewhere?
In Russia, because now it's very hard to travel
Yeah.
somewhere.
it's a it's a big headache. Like it's a fucking like 1 month project to find a place to travel to, and then they cancel the flight. So
Yeah,
you don't even know if you're gonna end up in the traveling. So it's really bad.
yeah. So that's why we decided that now it's safer to travel inside our country.
Yeah, yeah. But I remember one of your colleagues. They actually joined our work retreat here in Cyprus, right?
Yes,
Anna, correct?
exactly.
Maria, Anna,
Olga.
Olga, Olga.
Olga.
Yes. So maybe we should do that together sometime. Like just have a big affiliate party. Everyone can just all the networks and the publishers and can get together and have like some networking.
That sounds great.
We'll do it when the pandemic is over.
Yes. Okay, let's wait when. I hope soon it would be over. um, okay, you have huge company. I could say for a publisher at least. And what do you like about managing such big websites? Maybe this automatization or managing people mostly, or uh, to be on top.
Hmm. That's a very good question. I think I really like systems. I like to build things. And like ever since I was a kid, I just build things, Lego, or I go to the beach and build sand castles or whatever. I don't really care much about the money. It doesn't really motivate me because I don't spend my money. I literally don't know what you're gonna spend money on. It's like I have a good life in Cyprus. I pay 2,000 euros for everything and that's it. So money is not the main motivator for me. I think what makes me happy is to create, build efficient systems that working with brilliant people. Like the thing that makes our company so good is really the people in it. They have an amazing mindset about life in general. They're very talented people, and they grow a lot. So every month we have a meeting with some people, and you're like, oh, this is a completely different person. This guy went out to learn how to do public speaking, and they went on public television to talk about financer, and things just happen so much in our team, not even on my incentive. So that makes me very happy to run this company, like the people in it. Um, and yeah, building systems. That's very fascinating for me.
That's great. Do you like analytics? To use a lot of analytics?
I like numbers.
I
Everything needs to be
like that.
measurable. I have to tell you this. I had an addiction, like a real addiction, to check Ahrefs, which is, you know what it is, like a link tracker platform where you can see all the organic traffic and all this. I used to check it like literally 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's like, what's the traffic now? Did we get any backlinks? This is how obsessed I used to be about it. And then I said, like, I gotta make a rule. This is not good. So now I can only check it once a week.
Don't you have monitors with statistics in your office?
Oh, I would love that, but I wouldn't get anything done. I would just sit like this all day. So try to avoid it.
Okay. Thank you, Johannes, very much. To sum it all up, what are the best three, for example, pieces of advice to novice publishers from Johannes Larsson?
The best advice to publishers. I think it would be to build a brand instead of focusing too much on keywords and
Mhm.
looking like a thin affiliate website. It doesn't work very well today, but I think everyone can agree that it's not going to work in the future. So moving more towards like seeing your affiliate company as a real company and building a brand is going to help you so much. It might be slower in the beginning because you have to figure out a lot of stuff like slogan and logo, and you have to know what name you're going to use. You have to figure out, should I expand to many markets or whatever. But if you put some initial time to figure out like what would be the values of your company and what do you want to distinguish yourself in, you will be able to dominate the SERP in the long term. I think Google is moving more towards brands. The second thing is to, especially for people who don't know much about how this works, is to have patience. And it sounds very simple, like, yeah, well, of course you need patience, but the thing with just SEO and affiliate, this game is so dependent on delay. Everything, there's a delay effect in everything you do. So the work you're doing today, it could actually not give any result until 1 year later. So if you have that mentality that you want to see results instantly, you're gonna lose your motivation because you're probably not gonna see them. Many people, they try it for 1, 2 months and they're like, no, I didn't make any money. No, I'm not gonna, affiliate is a scam. Not really. It's just that you, even if you did everything right, you still need some time. Uh, and I think it's very good to just come into affiliate marketing with this in mind, to know that, okay, it's gonna take time. So let me not be discouraged because I don't see good money the first 3 months. Let me give it 6 months, maybe 12 months even. Of course, you don't want to blindly just put in too much work into something that doesn't give you any results. You gotta strike a balance. But as I said, even if you do everything right, you will not see the result. So assessing something after a couple of months is not gonna give you an accurate assessment. So yeah, practical tip, just at least 6 months. Three tips. Three tips. So the third thing is to value affiliate managers. Affiliate managers can be kind of annoying sometimes. I know many people would agree with me, but they can also be very useful and very helpful. And I think establishing a good relationship with affiliate networks is a good idea. They can help you to negotiate better commissions. And I mean, you're in the same boat because they get a commission based on the commission you get. So whatever that is, 10, 15, 25%, they also win on it. So it's in their interest to build you up and to give you more traffic and everything. So, and they can also help you to give you some insights like what's the best campaigns right now, what has the best EPC, all of these things. So yeah, I would say the practical tip is just to maintain a relationship, be nice even if they ask annoying questions, and maybe one day you will make a good collaboration together.
Well, yeah, I agree with you about the last part. Okay, let's move to the part with questions from our participants. But while everyone types their questions, if they haven't done it yet, I want to announce that we are in Leadgid have started new contest for publishers from the 1st of July. It calls Treasure Island. The main rules of this contest is for each €1 in invoice for publishers for offers that participate in this concept. Publishers automatically get bonus points that they can spend on Lead Store and buy some devices. It's mainly devices. Uh, Johannes, have you participated in such contests?
I
Or
haven't. I haven't actually. That sounds interesting.
okay, I hope that would be interesting for our publishers too. Okay, let's read the questions from participants. Uh, just a second. Uh, from Vladislav. After a customer visits your sites, do you use retargeting or some other way to keep the client?
We have tried retargeting. Now there's so much headaches with GDPR, and you need a consent. You need to do it properly, and we haven't really put too much focus on that. We tried many retargeting strategies and lookalikes in social media, but we didn't really have much success with it. We're trying now to build up like an email database, and we will move into retargeting more because I know that it works very well if you do it right, and if you build up like a large customer base, then I believe that's probably the best way. And I think that's what's missing from Financer. Like we never really cared about retargeting. We just cared about getting the person there in the first place, and then like bye bye, I'll never see you again. But that was obviously that was one of the mistakes we did, probably, that we didn't care enough about retaining the customer.
Okay, I think that was a good question. Okay, next question from Righties. Was there a breaking point in attracting partners, lenders? Johannes mentioned that it was through at first. It was thought at first, but has it gotten easier? And if so, what has made the difference? Breaking point in attracting partners, lenders.
Mm, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I think that it's becoming a little bit easier because it's more digitalized, and for every year, more people hear about affiliate. Um, so just by nature, yes, it's becoming easier, but it doesn't feel like the industry have made that much. Um, it didn't step up the game too much the last 5 years. You still gotta you need to give them a presentation of what affiliate marketing is in some countries. Hungary, for example, has been extremely hard for us to even get in contact with someone. We're like, do you have an affiliate manager? Like, we don't know what it is. So that's probably our biggest struggle. I can't say it's been much easier the last years.
Mhm. Okay. The question from Findazar. Can you share thoughts on tools, plugins, services that helped you the most with building successful multi-geo project?
I love Ahrefs. If you wanna be into the SEO game, I think you need to get Ahrefs. It's a bit expensive, but the value you get from that is tremendous. You can get content ideas, you can check your competitors, all those things that normal keyword tools have, but I just like Ahrefs a lot more. It feels a bit more accurate to me, bigger database. Um, they have some cool functionality. So Ahrefs I like. Some other tools, not necessarily very related to SEO, but we use Slack for communication, and we set up like very structured channels for everything. So we optimize the communication between country managers. So we have like live calls, we share information with each other, public channels where people can ask questions and people can just chime in with their solutions. I think that's important that you have a platform that really opens up the communication lines between people.
Okay, thank you. Next question from Anna. How much time you need to test the campaign before realize if it's good perform or not?
That's completely different. It usually we will get a pretty good idea. It depends on the volume, but if we have a lot of volume in the country and we will generate, let's say, 1,000 clicks in 1 week, then we will see how much that give us. But we would typically give it at least 1 month before we would evaluate, because in the loan business especially you have a lot of cycles and seasons. So in the beginning of the month sometimes it can be a bit slower depending on what market, but in Sweden everyone gets paid the 25th, so people don't typically take too much loans then. So we would give it a full month to determine if this lender is performing or not.
Okay, thank you. Findazor, I believe are using WordPress. How do you manage them? I believe you're using WordPress. How do you manage them? Do you use multi-size or custom builds?
We have multi-site. We use WordPress multi-site, yes, and we built a lot of customized plugins ourselves to make that work better.
Okay, thank you. From next question from Arvis. How long it usually takes to start new country with new affiliate? How long it takes to get your page into?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part?
How long it takes to get your page into?
Um, it can take anywhere from 1 month to 6 months to like get started in the market. Usually, Google is very slow to start ranking you no matter what website you have. If you go up in a new market, you will need like 6 months before Google is going to give you any slack. They're not going to put you number one for any keyword if you're a new player. So you need to give at least 6 months. Um, we don't expect anything to happen before a year. Like that's literally the idea we have. We're like to the country managers, like if don't worry about the results. It's gonna come in an exponential way. So the first year is like this, and then it can go like this. So the first year is like completely irrelevant for me what happens. It's not necessarily um, it's not a result of what you're doing. You will see a trend. If you're not ranking at all after 1 year, you're probably doing something wrong. But I wouldn't be too discouraged if I didn't have like a top 10 ranking the first year.
Okay, I see. Um, Next question from Vladislav. Have you ever thought about entering the Chinese or Indian or other big Asian markets?
That's a good question. I'm a bit scared of those markets, but yes, we want to go there. In our next expansion phase, we'll probably go into India. China, I don't know. I don't have any information about that market at all. But probably more Asian markets in general. Um, I'm not sure about the thing with India is that you have a lot of people, but probably EPC is very low there. So yeah, you would really need to put out quantities to rank well enough and get enough traffic that it's worth it.
Yes, I agree with you about Indian market. Uh,
Are you
okay,
up there, by the way? Like Leadgid has any offers in India?
we uh, we decided to try, and we are going to launch it this year.
Nice. That's good. So we're in good sync. Maybe we will have a nice established market for us when we want to expand there. You will do all the groundwork.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But now we, as you don't understand what EPC would be there, what rates is good in this market. So
Mhm.
now we are trying to find this information, how to work with it.
That's the only way you can find out, right? You gotta try it. You gotta experiment.
Yeah,
That's something I want to add to this discussion. That like we have been so surprised with every market we have gone up in because we had no clue about like the difficulties. You can look at the competitiveness of the keywords and you can get an idea, but you don't know anything until you actually go up there and you talk with the advertisers and you see what's happening. So the part with finding a good region to operate in, I would say it comes down to doing micro experiments a lot.
yeah, that's what we're going to do experiment, to test it, to and find out what rates should work in this country, in this scale. Okay, we have three more questions from Ratis. How do you divide the workload you have? With 26 girls, it has to be quite a lot of work. So what is your approach? Do you have people managing multiple markets or are there specialists for each market? I think we had answer for this question that you have country managers for each market.
Correct. And the workload for me, what I mostly do is I try to build more processes and more systems that would make life easier for everyone. I'm also a little bit involved in the development process to see what we're building. But yeah, my role is basically just about making sure the factory is working as it should.
Okay, the next question. And what does Johannes consider to be more effective, having people work remotely or actually having them in the jails they're working in?
I love that question. To give a yes or no answer, I would say it's better to have people remotely because it will attract uh, more of the right people. I'm not saying you can't find people who are in the office. I mean, that's very possible. I found many, but I think that you have a bigger pool of people and also people who values freedom more than money, which means you don't necessarily have to pay them like crazy amount of money based on their skills. They value freedom, so they can work for you and they can be very happy and you can be very happy. But of course, there are some downsides to not having like people in the office, and I think it depends on the industry. There are some industries and some businesses where it would be way better to have people in office. But if you are an affiliate business and you want to uh, work in this very modern manner where you don't look over the shoulder and you have this strong managing principles that you have to know exactly what times people work and stuff like that, and I don't see much reason to have an office. Although I would offer like an office for people to come and meet up in, or like a place to hang out once or twice or something every year. Because if people have an office as as a possibility, they will actually enjoy going there. And I think it could just by going to the office once a week, for example, or meeting the team every 3 months, you eradicate a lot of the bad side of being remote. You remove it almost completely if you do have meetups once in a while. So yeah, a little bit long-winded answer there, ranting and ranting, but I think you want to go with remote based. I mean, this is where the world is going anyways, and the best people in the world are probably gonna appreciate remote based roles, or at least part-time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the next question from Olga. Is better to have one site for many geos or do one SEO site for each geo? Could you recommend the best hosting for SEO?
Also, very good question, I must say. So you had two questions there actually.
Yeah,
Let me just respond quickly on the SEO thing, because SEO hosting is not something I recommend. Normally, what happens when you go into SEO hosting is that you get put on an IP which is shared with a lot of SEO geeks. And what they like to do is they build up these link farms. Now there are some, let's say, theories that if you're located in a server with a lot of link farms, then Google could potentially not like that. I'm not saying it is like that. Everything in SEO is speculation, but I would avoid that. I would go to a big provider, trusted provider like DigitalOcean. That's what we're using, and just get yourself a virtual server. So I don't recommend SEO hosting. If you need to set up your own private network with like satellite websites that you use to strengthen your own website, then you can use SEO hosting, but you don't want to put the main one on SEO host. To the other question, which is the really interesting thing, is correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something like, is it better to have one website for all the markets or to have one website for each market, right?
yeah, yeah, right.
And I really believe that there's no like there's upsides and downsides with both, and I wouldn't say that having a big a domain with 26 markets is optimal for many reasons. Number one is most markets, it's very hard to rank a .com domain because people are not used to going up there, to going to .com domains. They want the local domains. So, for example, in Poland, I don't know if it is like this anymore, but 5 years ago, we couldn't rank in Poland. We're like, what's going on here? And we went to the SERP, checked, and like the first 10 pages of the loan keywords that we search on is just .pl domains. And then we're trying to rank it with a .com domain, and it's going to reduce the CTR, which will affect your rankings. So I think this is changing though. I think people are more used to .com domains, and I don't think it makes that much of a difference anymore. But in some market, it could really make quite a big difference. So I would say that the best thing you can do is probably to do a local brand, because that's the other reason you might lose rankings, because people don't know what financer is. If they don't speak English, they have no idea what it means. Okay, they can get an idea what it means, but it's not going to be the same as if we're using like a in the local language a brand that they might be more familiar with, and they're more likely to click a local brand. So it's going to affect the CTR. Now, the upside with having a big brand is, of course, that everything is under the same roof. All the backlinks you get will spread to the whole domain, and it will create a domain that is has way more domain authority and trust and all of this. And I believe that's one of the reasons why it took us a long time, because in the beginning we had low CTR, we had some things working against us, but then we built up links for all the markets. 26 markets just bombarding with links. It just spreads like in an umbrella. So that's why we're able to rank much better today. So I think long term that's very good. Short term is probably better to do like local domains, local brands for each market.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers. Uh, okay, Johannes, which question do you find the most interesting?
I gotta say the last one. The last one was because it's such a big argument I've been having with other SEO geeks. Like, what should you do? Should you do a global brand? Should you do? And this is a question that doesn't have a good answer, which is it's not an obvious answer to this one, and you can do both. So I would give this one the prize.
Okay, okay, Olga. We will contact you and explain how to claim your bonus. Thank you for your question. So, Johannes, thank you very much for your time and for such an insightful conversation. I found a lot of new information for myself, and I'm sure I'm not only one. Thank you. Thanks for our participants for questions. So,
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed talking about this. I mean, I'm a SEO geek, so I can always talk. I can talk for hours. Thank you so much for being part of a great affiliate network. I think we all appreciate Leadgid in many ways. It's helping the affiliate industry. So thank you for that. And if you need any more interviews, I'm up for it.
okay, great. Thank you very much. So, goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. See you
Bye.
guys.